I've been young, I've been old, I've been hurt and consoled, heart of cold, heart of gold, so I'm told. I've been lost.
Notice everybody that SevsDeadSerious. I'm stroking my Jimmy Buffett look, Margaritaville. What's up, dogs? Listen, today I decided I'd just come on and I want to explain some stuff because, wow, a lot of this stuff happens and I don't think that 95% of the population of this country really gives two shits. But you know what? I'm here to help you give a shit. And, that's what SevsDeadSerious is about, is helping we the people understand some of the stupid crap that just kind of happens in America today. The first piece of stupid crap is the NSA and this young man by the name of Snowden, okay? When I was in the Navy, I had a top secret clearance, but we had a little thing that we knew was called need to know. And if you needed to know, there was very few things I couldn't look at officially, but I entrusted the fact that they didn't really want me to know that kind of stuff, considering I was like 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and highly irresponsible and probably not the best person to be looking at top secret classified information. Mr. Snowden probably had access to a lot of things, but Mr. Snowden, trust me, being a high school dropout, didn't have the brains to know what he was looking at. What he was listening to was all of these libertarians saying the government's spying on us and all this other stuff. And yeah, the government is spying on us, absolutely and unequivocally. Do I like it? Probably not so much. Is it necessary in today's society? Absolutely. Will it stop terrorists completely? No. Will it stop some acts of terrorism? Possibly many acts of terrorism. We'll never know. But, I guess my attitude is this. If you are like me and, the only time you use the phone and internet, your friends and pizza and calling out for takeout Chinese and, getting mad at the bank or something like that, I think you're okay. But you know what? If some of your friends are members of Al Qaeda or they're residing in Syria or, some third world country and they have funny names and they keep asking you if you can take some of their enriched uranium and store it at your house. And what do you think about blowing up buildings? If you are talking to people about stuff like that, trust me, you should probably be very careful about who you talk to because they're probably looking for you. So, like I said, if you're not doing anything subversive or bad, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you are calling the Taliban, if you're calling Assad, or you're calling the Taliban or Al Qaeda on the phone, you probably are in deep shit. But they probably already know that, so don't worry about it anymore. The second thing is immigration. And I'm going to tie this in with women. Why do the Republicans have such a problem with immigrants and women? Do those knuckleheads realize that if they don't get those people to at least some of them vote for them, they not only have no chance in 2016 or 2020 or even maybe 2024. You just can't keep saying no, 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 no. You can't. And you just can't listen, Obama has been decidedly weak president. His second term has been a joke in many cases. The IRS thing, the NSA thing, all this stuff. And, the sad thing is when you're the president, you just can't say, oh, well, geez, I didn't know. Well, you're the president, so you're supposed to know. So if you didn't know, you should know. And if you did know, then you're lying. So whichever way you went on it, then, you got egg all over your face. But that's okay. I can accept that. What I can't accept is the conservative belief that, for example, you got 11 million people that would like to be citizens of this country, and you could certainly give them a path to citizenship. But putting the kind of rules and stipulations you want in immigration, it's just plain not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to get both sides, both parts and pieces of Congress to all agree on it. And that's just not going to happen because there's just too many divisive Republicans like the Ted Cruzes and the Darrell Isas and and whatever number of Republicans in the United States House. And I certainly don't follow. I don't follow the House individually because there's so many members. Where the Senate, it's fairly easy. Every state has two. And because a senator usually serves for like 7 million years, it's almost impossible to get rid of these old senators. My God. But the sad fact is you're stuck with them. As long as people keep voting them in, you're stuck with some of these idiots. I mean, look at a guy like Jeff Sessions, the little troll from Alabama. He is doing everything he can to stop immigration. Well, surprise, surprise, Alabama, the state where, George Wallace, when he was the governor of the state, stood in front of the University of Alabama when he was denying entrance into the University of Alabama of a black man, said, segregation now, segregation forever. Well, when you are George Wallace in 1964 and you are not allowing one of those black folks into your school, well, what would you expect from a senator from the same state a mere 50 years later? So you take one look at Jeff Sessions from Alabama, then you know what the problem is. This is a state where the state college did not start its first African American football player until 1973, and now the only white guys on the Alabama football team is the quarterback. Anyway, so much for that silly joke. Anyway, this immigration thing. Will the Republicans screw it up? Absolutely. Because you're not going to stop it, okay? People want to come to America. It's a great place to live, okay? So, that's the bottom line of that one. A couple other things that always get, God forbid Republicans say the dumbest ass stuff I've ever heard in my... The 20-week... A representative from the state... I don't even care. Does it matter what state the man is from? He opposes abortion because male fetuses masturbate. Well, that certainly explains a lot, doesn't it? Dad, I became a compulsive masturbator before I was born. Where do they come up? Okay, first of all, a fetus, what kind of imagination does one have as a fetus when masturbating? And what are they? Do they masturbate with their hands? I mean, they're not fully developed, are they? I mean, are they humping against mom? I mean, which is, that's a little incestuous to me. I'm a little worried about that one, frankly. How do they masturbate? I mean, this is what I must ask this GOP. He's a member of the House. I'm sure he's from some backwater place. Let me just try to find out real quickly here. I'm going to try to find out. Michael Burgess. Oh, surprise, surprise. He's from Texas. Why is that not surprising that a congressman from the state of Texas would believe that fetuses masturbate? That's one of the problems in the world today is there's too damn many fetuses out there masturbating. They should be out getting jobs like most fetuses. And it's always nice when a bunch of white guys are telling women, how to treat their bodies. Listen, you shouldn't get an abortion before 20 weeks, because I guess at that point, supposedly, according to Republican pundits, the fetus feels pain. At 20 weeks, the fetus feels pain. I suppose he's also feeling, okay, I suppose if he can masturbate at that point and feel pleasure, one would assume that pain would be, I guess pain would be like, when your mother suddenly, does something and you can't masturbate when you're the fetus. Because I remember my days as a fetus when I was 10, 12 weeks old thinking, wow, when do I get to start masturbating? As soon as I can find my penis. So which is another thing to think of is when does one begin to develop a penis that is grabbable, so to speak? I'm sorry I'm going off this way, but there's so many funny things involved with fetuses and masturbation. Okay, so and again, I don't think I should go any further with that because people might think that I'm a pervert or something, and I'm really not a pervert. I just think that fetuses masturbating is just a little far-fetched. But hey, that's just me. What do I know, right? I mean, I'm just a well-educated guy who's just trying to find my way in the society. Thank you very much. Oh, anyway, excuse me. I got a little gas today. Thank you. Not that anybody really cares or even wants to know. Oh, by the way, see what else do we have to notice here? They're having protests in. Oh, by the way, did you notice that Anthony Weiner, he who showed his wiener to one of his former, I guess, his secretaries of the, he took a picture of it with his cell phone and then he sent it out. He's now running for mayor of New York City, and it's always nice to see a man who would like to show everybody his wanky doodle. But that's fine. By the way, now we found out now that in the state of Arizona they can't ask for 15 forms of ID before you're allowed to vote, just to make sure that none of those illegal aliens ever get in there and actually vote for somebody. Lord knows they take all the crappiest jobs in America, so why would we want them to vote? Another thing is, tonight we have the basketball game. It's the 6th game of basketball, and this is for all of my former students who love basketball. Okay, San Antonio is eventually going to win this because LeBron, and I know all of you that are listening think that LeBron is a god. He is not a god. But he's going to fall flat in his face, if not tonight, for the 7th game, but he will fall. So you heard that here first. And my last thing is, it's now sniping season on teachers because, it's the end of the school year and we have to blame somebody for the crappy condition of the nation's schools. So the first and easiest place is let's go directly to the floor of the teachers. Now, as a former high school teacher and a wife who is a teacher and administrator, may I say that teachers aren't the only fault. There are many parents who don't do what they're supposed to. And God forbid if you live in the state of Pennsylvania, where we would like to think we're a little bit like the South. We are ranked 41st in the nation, a percentage of the state budget used on education. And it is a wonder why the state of Pennsylvania finishes so poorly in so many facets of education. What's really bad is the collapsing Philadelphia school system, which is looking at $305 million budget, and the state refuses to do anything about it at this point, is controlled by the state. The state took over the city schools. So now that you're in charge of the city schools, like you don't want to do it anymore. Well, guys, that's not the deal, man. It's this Corbett. This Corbett is an idiot. And then when you're dealing with Nutter, who is the biggest jock sniffer I've ever seen in my life. The only thing that Nutter has done is he has a lot of commissions and focus groups so they can explain what's going on. I've got a neighbor who's a member of a commission that's looking into why African Americans are doing poorly in the city of Philadelphia. Well, let's start with the fact that only 35% of them graduate on time. Let's start with the fact that they don't have jobs. Let's start with the fact that most of them think they're going to be either rappers or professional athletes, which is like unbelievably not thinking. I used to tell him that. I'll never forget this young man comes up to me. He says, I said, what are you going to do with your life? He said, well, I'm going to be a rapper. Well, I've known a couple of musicians in my life and some, quite successful. And I said to him, wow, that's, oof. Yeah, but what if you don't make it? And he looked at me and he was very serious when he said it. He says, I'm going to go play in the NBA. I looked at him, I said, dude, you're like 5'11". He says, yeah, but he says, you ought to see my game. I've really got game. I said, you're not even on the varsity basketball team. He says, yeah, but I've seen those guys in the NBA, man. I can do what they can. So any NBA executives that are watching right now, this young man would probably be 20, 21 years old now. He's a 5'11" power forward, and I've heard he's got game.
I've been young,
real game.
I've been old.
So again, SevsDeadSerious is done for the day. And again, for any of you who have fetuses inside you, remember this. Shh, they're masturbating. SevsDeadSerious.com.